Hello, friends. I have come up with an interesting topic on bank charges, how to handle bank charges in Oracle Cloud. That is the topic for this session. Bank charges. Bank charges are fees levied by banks for processing funds transfer between a disbursement bank account, or nothing but an internal bank account of the client, and supplier's bank account. Okay. Handling bank charges in Oracle Fusion is usually done through cash management or payables, depending on when the bank charges are identified and based on client requirement. If in cash management, there are two methods. Method one, manual, method two, automatic. In case of manual, this method is used when the bank deducts charges directly in the bank statement. Based on this, clients create an Excel transaction and get this reconciled with bank statement type. This is purely manual process where business user has to record that bank charge as an Excel transaction manually in the application. And the second method, automatic, based on configuration in cash management. There are a couple of setups where we need to configure bank statement transaction creation rules and cash transaction type mapping. So based on that, system has the ability to create bank charges Excel transaction when we run generate cash transaction program. Okay. In this method, system automatically creates the bank charges as Excel transactions based on configuration without manual intervention. And these are the ways we can handle bank charges in cash management. I will come back to accounts payable shortly. And in case of account receivables, how to handle bank charges in AR? There are two ways to handle bank charges in AR. There are some charges you need to record as bank charges in cash in customer payment. So first method is adjustment, invoice level adjustment. Let's assume that there is an invoice created for 1,000 and you got the money from the customer for 980. So you have an invoice for $1,000 and $980 as a receipt. So there is a deduction of $20 that is considered as bank charge, for which you need to create an adjustment to close the invoice. Okay, this is one way. Another workaround where we can create is miscellaneous receipt in negative. So you can also create $20 as miscellaneous receipt in negative against the customer. Okay, this is another way. And come back to AP. Okay, how to handle bank charges in AP. How to handle bank charges in AP. Some companies record bank charges in AP when processing the payments. So here the requirement is that when making the payment, system has to detect the bank charge and make the payment to the full extent of liability. Here, basically, it is considered as a discount when making the payment, as we are paying less by detecting the bank charge. Important point here is that when we set up the bank charge functionality, you cannot take a discount on the payment. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing, this functionality does not work when you process payments through create payment screen or pay in full action from invoice screen. Okay? It does not work when you process the payments in create payment screen or pay in full screen, invoice screen. And it means that when we process the payments through payment process request, then only this functionality works. Okay, payments can be processed through payment process request. Then only this bank charge functionality works. Remember this point. And to achieve the requirement, we need to configure a couple of setups, uh, define the bank charges, and we have to set up the bank deduction type for payment options and the bank deduction type for the supplier site for which supplier you want to implement this. And also we need to provide the discount taken account in the common options for payables and procurement task. So these are the required configurations and we can achieve that. Let me show you the configurations. This is the list of configurations required in AP. And the first setup define bank charges. So this is applicable for which legal entity, what is the currency, what is the settlement priority, and for which bank, transferring bank and the receiving bank, and also we need to provide the bank charge amount. There are two types, standard or negotiated. What is the difference? We can negotiate with the supplier whether to deduct the bank charges from an invoice payment or you pay the bank at one of these rates, either standard rate or negotiated rate. Standard rate means it is a bank charge. This is the typical rate that a bank charges you uh, when transferring the funds from disbursement bank account to supplier bank. Okay, and negotiated means it is a negotiated bank charge, which is negotiated rate that we agreed upon with the bank. Okay, upon transfer of funds. These are the two ways. Either you can use standard or negotiated. So let's go with standard. Go with standard. The another setup, we have to select the bank charge direction type at payment options level. Okay, bank charges. So ensure the same setup. Okay, the same type which you selected in the previous setup. Okay, you ensure the rate is provided here, the bank charge amount, the standard rate, and you select bank charge deduction type as standard. And the next setup is select the bank deduction type for supplier side, for which supplier you want to implement this. Okay, for that supplier, you can go to supplier site level and there is a tab called the payment, and the payments go to payment attributes. Under payment attributes, there is a tab called payment specification. Under that, there is an option called bank charge bearer code. It should be payer. Payer is nothing but who is paying. Okay? Payer. And another important setup is assigning the discount to taken account at common options level. Go to common options for payables and procurement task and assign the GL account. So discount, as I mentioned before. So basically it is considered as a discount because we are paying less amount by deducting the charges. Okay. So ensure these are configured. And let me demonstrate. So there is one invoice called DT Bank Charge 1. This is created for 10,000. Okay. Now I will make the payment. And also I want to show you the accounting entries so that you will understand better. What is the expectation when the invoice is created? System debits item expense account 10,000 and liability account 10,000. This is what exactly system has generated when the invoice is created. And and when making the payment, the expected accounting entry would be this one. Liability account debit 10,000, cash clearing account 9,900, and discount taken or bank charge $100. This is coming from setup. Okay, so the $100 is coming from this setup bank charge where we specified what is the standard, and here we also specified which rate type we want to use, and also we specified what is the GL account to be used for discount taken. Okay, so based on the setup, system is generating is going to generate these accounting entries. Okay, now let me make the payment and we'll see how system will make the payment by deducting the bank charges. Go to payments. As I told you before, The bank charge deduction works only with payment process request. TP bank charge 1. Let me provide these options. There is only one invoice, and select the supplier or which supplier we enable, and go to processing options, provide these options: disbursement bank account, payment document, payment process profile, the settlement priority override. Let me go with normal. This should be the same as bank charge setup, and bank charges bearer code override will go with here. To ensure these options are enabled, and click on submit. And system has selected one invoice. This is the same invoice we were talking about, 10,000 unpaid. That means we can't submit. Go to action. I can say 9,900 to be paid, and the invoice amount is 10,000. Let me resume. It's formatted and ready for recording. Let me submit. Let me submit. Record print status, yes. Yeah, payment is completed. Let me go to manage payments and go to payment date, search with payment. So this is the 2009. Okay, 2009. Let me show you the accounting entry. As you see, payment amount is 9,900 only. 9,900 only. Okay. So this is how we can achieve if I go to paid invoices. And this is the invoice number. DT bank charge one. Okay. DT bank charge one. And if I go to the same invoice and 9,900 being paid and 100 deducted as bank charge. If I go to actions and post to ledger, our expectation is that liability account would be debited with 10,000 and the cash clearing would be 9,900 and the discount 100. So this is coming from the same setup which we configured at the account given at common options level. And also you can provide the GL account at bank account level. There is an option for bank charges under business unit tab. If you provide that account at bank account level, that will take the precedence. And if you do not provide anything at bank account level, system would take the GL account from discount taken. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, this is how we can achieve bank charges functionality in AP. Okay, I hope this helps. Thank you.